Hey
Are we
everybody,
not
welcome
rolling?
to Hamster Savvy.
Oh, we just went. I thought we had 5 minutes to set up still.
We did, but then I misclicked.
Oh, I can't hear Hamster anymore.
We did, but then I
No, he's
misclicked.
talking just to his stream.
Okay.
It's Hamster's show. We're just along for the ride.
True that.
Oh, apparently he can hear us now. Hey,
Yeah. Hi.
I'm gonna finish getting my water and stuff.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, I misclicked, so we're to have a 5-minute preview.
Okay.
VIPs only.
Ho 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 ho. $5 to get in?
That's $1 per extra minute.
Make people sub for it. $1 per minute's pretty good. That's more than I make.
That would be pretty good. $60 an hour.
Yeah, I would not mind that wage. It sounds like a lawyer's wage.
Hello.
Hey, Bane Stabberwalky's here.
Hello.
Hello.
Are we like live? Like they
We're-
can hear us?
Yes, we're super live.
Oh no.
Why? Why?
I was just gonna say all my profanities at once.
Oh, just to get it out.
I guess I'll hold
That's
on.
funny.
Yeah, but
I charge a buck per profanity, so
Oh really?
yeah.
Well, I was gonna mute anyway.
Oh.
So you won't be able to keep count, and I'll just be honest about it, and I'll tell you that I didn't actually use any.
You'll be honest, completely honest, and say it was squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, here's the thing: you owe me $5. A lot of times, I've lost count of how many fives
You have
owe me, but,
proclaimed a fee at me. Sure.
yeah,
Whether
Yeah,
or
you've
not...
decided that he's owed you $5 many times.
Yeah.
you owe me $5 too, Chris. Pipe down.
Hey, Mace.
Everybody in this room owes me at least $5, if not more.
Hey, Mace, $20.
No, take it. Take
No,
it
he
from
said.
your paycheck.
No, he said. That means
No.
it's bond.
Oh no. Oh, that is Mace law, huh? Okay, here's the thing. You owe me probably $500.
What?
So how is about you took the $20 from that 500 and then also $500 for my processing fees? So now you owe me about like I don't know, $980.
Like I feel like you're just like alone in your apartment and you just ring up the bill. You're like, Chris, $5, and only you hear it. It's just you,
Yeah.
but you add it to the tally.
Yeah.
And we don't even know it.
What's wrong with that?
Get
I
One
rich
don't
day,
quick.
Mace is gonna call on all of these debts at once.
Right. We're gonna get the tax documents and everything.
Oh yeah, coming like tax season. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I know that it's important to get those filed in time, so
Right.
you'll get your.
She sends us one of those envelopes that's labeled important tax document,
Right.
and we open it up and it's just like a napkin that says $5 on it.
Urgent response requested. Do not
Urgent
destroy.
Urgent response required
Yeah.
under penalty
sounds
of
about right.
jail.
It says IRS, but it's written in crayon.
IRS, and then on the paper, UOI, because it's not an IOU technically. It's
Right.
You
the other way
arrive.
around.
Yep.
What are we painting today?
Well, I called it Spells and Spectres because I said I have this ghosty illusion spell that's like a beastie that this dwarf wizard summons, and he runs around the battlefield. And Chris said he had some ghasts, some ghosts.
I got 2 wraiths and a banshee,
Awesome.
and I've been afraid of painting them because they're translucent. So
Yes,
you know,
that is a challenge.
I've been afraid.
But you're coming out of your comfort zone.
I'm coming out of my comfort zone, and I'm doing just terribly. So I watched a video on painting a translucent figure.
Oh,
And
really?
they were like, just use watered down washes to shade it, basically, in the crevices.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it just basically just giving you more control over the effect, so you can leave it as transparent as you like. It's just thinning them down so you can do as much as you want gradually.
I'm terrified. Let's go.
Yeah, well, the watered down is going to make it really hard to mess up. Because it'll be a very subtle effect that you build up.
Never say never.
You gotta scream it.
Never shout never.
What a band.
So are you on
Better be.
Procreate, Mace?
I am on Procreate.
You doing something spooky or ghostly?
Yeah, I'm doing something spooky and ghostly.
Wow, both?
Yeah, don't you worry. I take these themes very seriously because
Holy smokes.
plan them at least a year ahead of time. For
A
good
year?
reason.
Wait, you knew
Oh, yeah.
that I was going to pick this theme? You're like, I got to prep.
You don't remember the meeting we had a year ago where we were talking about how we were no longer going to be doing Hamster Paint Strike eventually and we would turn it into Hamster Hobby Hang? And that was all my idea. And then I was like, you know what we got to do on November the 19th is we have to, we got to do something ghostly and like kind of spooky.
Ah, huh. It must have just
I
come
did like
up in
that
my
little
subconscious.
pause where you had to look at what the date was.
I'm bad with numbers, but I'm great at remembering everything I've ever said in a meeting. So I'm
You're really good at one number in particular.
Is it 5?
Oh, yeah, I guess that.
Hey,
Hey,
Crystal.
Crystal Foley, how you doing? Well, this doesn't seem to be where I might have watered this down too much.
That'll happen. That's a tricky. You gotta learn like which paints want what amount of moisture. It's a lot of trial and error.
Brown, 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 brown. This isn't looking at all like what he did. Well, you live, you learn, and then you die.
If it's
I'm assuming once you die, you stop learning.
yeah, I suppose. Anyway, that's it for the hobby stream. On that note,
Best of luck on translucent figures, you brave soul. Thank you. I'm terrified. I've never done translucent before, and actually, hang on. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, because I'm basically just supposed to be staining the, I'm basically supposed to be just staining it, right?
yeah. So just don't be afraid to like just get a wet brush in there after you apply it and like sponge some of it off if it's too heavy.
I think I went the other direction and it's way too light, and I think I need to let it thicken.
Sure.
Let's see. What's everybody doing today? Wow, there sure is a lot of messages in chat already.
Ooh.
Working on a Demogorgon.
Nice.
That's cool.
Kill Force 9.
That's what GF9 stands for. Okay.
Yeah, I've mostly.
Isn't that a Star Trek?
I forget. I've mostly.
Gale Force 9 is not a Star Trek, no.
It's not a Star Trek. I mostly
It's not a
have
Star
used their hobby products. This spongy flock that I have is Gale Force 9.
Is it a Star Trek?
It's a
Flobby?
Yeah, it's a Star Trek.
Alright. Flobby hang.
What?
Flobby hang.
Yeah?
Didn't somebody say flobby, or am I making this up?
Did they what?
Say flobby? Just ignore me.
Did you just say it? Did you just say flobby to me?
Wait, didn't somebody say flobby?
One of us?
Yeah.
All right, Mace, go to bed.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Whoops. Alright. Anyway, for Mace's Flobby Hang, we will be discussing Flobby and Flobduality.
Flobduality.
Yeah.
I've read some
The
interesting theories on that.
duality of man.
Yeah.
Yep. Whether or not people feel flobulent or just what's going
Flobulent?
on. Yeah. I can't believe you guys have never heard of these words. They're definitely real words that I did not make up.
I believe it. Just like today's.
Thank
theme.
you. Yeah. All planned. It's all planned. So, on Hamster stream the other day, somebody posted these toilet paper minis. I think it would be really fun if we got a set of those for the office.
Wait,
I don't know when we would
what?
use them. Huh?
Toilet paper minis?
Is that what those
Yeah.
were?
Yeah. The toilet paper mimics.
Oh, mimics. Okay.
They're miniatures. Not like, they're not minis as in like the person kind, but they look pretty cool.
I thought you said toilet paper minis, and I was like, somebody sculpted like a tiny roll of toilet paper.
I did say that, so apologies. But, I mean, minis in the sense of like, you know,
All right,
Miniature.
go.
miniature.
Hmm. Let's see.
Flobology is the study of flobby. That sounds right. We got the resident expert right here, but
I can confirm I have a PhD in flebology.
PhD.
I'm a phlebotomist.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like to go around bragging about it because
I
a lot
don't-
of people don't actually know.
I don't go around blagging about my flobology PhD, but I'm not a big blagger, but
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but
God.
sweet.
All right, 2 hours of this. Buckle up, everybody.
Yeah, we're off to a great start.
I apologize.
No, you don't.
No, because it's entertaining. To me.
Let's see.
Alright, I'm gonna look at the chat. I have been neglecting the chat.
Same, TBH.
Would you like me to read the chat out loud?
No.
Okay.
I mean, go for it.
No, it's okay. You don't want it.
If you fail your
Ginny
philology
Boy
exam, it's a phlebotomy.
23 says, "Gee, Hamster, you can get paint on a mini so fast, no fear. I love it." And then Topulus says, "It's first grade, SpongeBob, about phlebology being the study of flobby," which is true. It's a good quote from SpongeBob SquarePants. Method Man says, "Looking good."
Hey, Method Man.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, this is
Mitch-
mostly just confidence. I'm just slopping it on.
Oof.
No fear is the way to go. In life.
Yeah, Hamster is renowned for never being afraid or anxious of anything.
Yes, I'm never
Especially-
self-conscious. Never
Especially
paralyzed
regarding
anything.
his painting.
Right, exactly. There's never been horrible scenes before we start a stream where I'm freaking out about what
Yeah.
I'm painting.
Yeah.
Cool as a cucumber.
Hey, great
Do people
tragedy.
just-
Hold up. The DF store is out of the Bubbles Blue paint. Where can I find more? That is a tragedy because it's probably my #1 favorite paint of ours.
Bubbles Blue is a very nice color.
But yeah, they're having trouble with that because the dwarves haven't mined a healthy supply of the pigments in a while. It's becoming a little scarce. So
Honestly, we've
trying to find
been
a new
trying to
source.
stay on top of, yeah, we're trying to stay on top of paint restocks and everything. It can, like, I don't want people to think that we're not trying to keep it going. It can be hard because we have a lot of projects going on, but it is something that we are working on. It's just not immediately demanding like the like pledge manager or stuff like that. So
right,
I
as
don't
soon as we find a Bubbles blue vein, and I think they're in New Zealand currently searching for the next supply, but then it'll be
Just keep that analogy going.
well, it's not really even an analogy if it's the truth.
Oh my god.
They are in New Zealand, as a matter of fact.
We're
They're
committing
in
some...
Hobbiton.
We're just
Somewhat.
sticking to a lot of really weird bits today.
it's one of those weeks for
I'm
me.
telling
It's a
you,
weird
no-
week for me.
Wait, you got to do all the paint masters this week, right? So you just been...
I've been in a daze.
I'm a weird person. That's my excuse.
Okay. Alright, I see you.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's go for... Okay, I think... Hamster, how do you already have it to that level?
No
Like,
fear.
You already have... Yeah, no fear. Man.
Oh dang.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any Underdoom stuff in this month's restock. Yeah, all the different paint schemes have made restocking that stuff interesting, to say the least. I'm hoping that we can get some Underdoom in at some point. But mainly we're trying to get these new configurations out with the next two restocks of the Caverns and Dread Hollow. And if we can get those in as some nice consistent products, we can start focusing on other stuff.
What's up, Rabbit?
What was all that? You alright?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm still learning a lot of the brushes on Procreate, so sometimes things come out not like I intend them. Everything's fine. I overreact a lot.
Relatable.
You.
Rabbit, I got a another Relic Blade guy. It's sort of a summonable illusion spell.
Oh, that's Relic Blade.
Yeah, this is the
Right.
which is interesting because this is from the dwarf group, which a lot of dwarves I play, like Warhammer dwarves, they use a lot of runes and stuff, but they don't actually have like spells. So it's kind of neat that he's like a pretty classic looking wizard with a wand and everything, casting this big spell, but he's a dwarf.
Man, Relic Blade has some cool... I like the ones that summon extra minis. That thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's something you drop on the field and it causes like an area of effect, basically, right?
Yeah, it moves around and has like an aura. Yeah.
I wanna play that at some point. I still can't get over how good the Grenadier was. Between the Grenadier and the Sniper. Or no, was it the Grenadier that was the Sniper?
I think it was the same, but I think I was looking up because it looks like that's a mini in his latest Kickstarter. So hopefully sometime in the new year I'll get that miniature. I don't think
I
don't think you can buy it right now. Which is why he
I,
was so interesting. I think he's getting more experimental with like the cards.
I like it
and
a
stuff.
lot. That was one of my favorite.
That was an MVP. Yeah.
Because things were looking really bad at first. Like, I think I literally managed to stop you when you were 1 point away.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was so fun though.
Like, I basically got this Grenadier set up. So I played pieces that took time to set up, whereas you played dudes that like just instantly got across the entire battlefield and like got to the objectives.
Yeah.
And I ended up like losing my tank super early on because I got too aggressive with trying to cut him off from claiming some objective points. And so then it just got wailed on. It was like this druid that could shapeshift into a bear. And I put her into bear form and sent her flying in there, and Hamster just like immediately decimated her.
It's because I was scared.
What's up?
Yeah, Relic Blade.
Okay.
Let's see.
Thanks, Rabbit. Okay, here's my question about painting at home. Sealing process. Pre-painted, I feel like I could rub it all over. When I painted myself, don't have the same confidence. Yeah, so first of all, when stuff is pre-painted, it's often like I don't know exactly, but it's like a different kind of paint than acrylic. It's like some kind of enamel, hard shell sort of paint.
Yeah, the factory doesn't
worse.
We do.
Which is durable, but for especially my gaming stuff that I'll be handling a lot. I just use a spray varnish usually. You can also airbrush it, but it's perfectly fine to use a spray can if you don't have an airbrush. I usually do a gloss varnish just because it has that hard coat, kind of like that factory paint. It has like a harder shell. And then if you want it to be matte and not glossy, you can spray that over matte just to make it matte, and it is an additional layer. But starting with the gloss varnish first, we'll give it that like hard shell seal. I use Tester's dull coat and gloss coat.
Let's see. Just trying to run these washes over and over again into the creases. That's all you really do with these, right? It's basically just washes to stain it.
Spray lacquer is what this is. Yeah, that's basically how you paint transparent if you want it to stay somewhat transparent. It's just tint it with thin washes.
Interesting.
I think Army Painter makes a spray clear coat. Yeah, I mean, most of the sprays are going to be pretty similar. I will say, when you get one, test it, because some of them do have slightly different effects, and you might see some kind of... Occasionally, depending on the conditions and different brands or whatever, you might see a different effect that it has on the result. This stuff I've seen very little shift or change in the paint, but always test it first when you're trying something new.
How frequently do you use airbrushing?
I haven't used it in a while. Definitely never for Dwarven Forge, just because the factory doesn't use airbrush. And I haven't had it set up in a while since I moved over to this room, which was months ago at this point, so that's a shame. But I would probably use it for almost every miniature if I had it set up. Just it's mostly just you can do similar things with the brush. It's just a more efficient with an airbrush. Like you could really get some quick undershading done and base coating and stuff with it. And
I've
you can
never
do some
used
cool
it, but I've
effects.
always been interested in trying it.
It's fun too. It's fun to use once you get the hang of it.
I'll leave it.
DMM, what do you use for spider webs? Because I'm trying to do spider webs on my Necrons. I know there's certain products specifically for it, but I found this cheap medium that I saw in this video that a guy just shot it through an airbrush straight, and it kind of got all spindly, but it might be fragile. Oh, you shoot crackle medium through it. This is probably similar then. Okay. I've heard a lot of things about Ultra Matte, about how, because sometimes matte varnishes still come out kind of satin, but I've never been able to find it. It's always out of stock when I look for it, but I haven't looked in a while, so. Ooh, glue. That's interesting. I'd be scared to shoot glue through the airbrush, but I could see how it'd work. And I'm sure if you give it a good bath, it would be fine. What did I miss? DMN. Okay, I was going to say, ooh, man. Oh, you just... So, okay, so you put dabs of glue and you pull it when it's tacky. Okay. I was going to say, man, that's some brave airbrushing. Mitch, I'm just blending on this mini myself. I do have a wet palette, but none of it's blended in there. I'm just trying to get a base coat. A lot of this is going to end up going away, honestly. It's mostly because I want to highlight it up pretty good. But just getting the base down. Even if I'm going to change it, I just like getting paint all over the model. It just like makes it look finished soon, and like, I don't know, it gets my enthusiasm up and my encouragement up when I just...
It makes it feel more like you're just making tweaks to something that's basically done instead of
Yeah, and like you're not I get like less fiddly when I'm like, if I try to do one area at a time. Especially this thing is really good for this method because like it's just one big amorphous thing. It's not a lot of different items and shapes and details. But even in the case of like a more usual miniature with like a thing who has leather pouches and capes and hats and armor and weapons and whatever else, I try to get paint on everything, just because I've tried to do like one area at a time, and I just end up like getting really stuck on finicky parts of that area. And sometimes it's one of those things where if you just get paint on it, you're not even gonna notice like what was bothering you or you're being finicky about before. So I don't know. It just keeps me moving across it and not getting stuck on one part. So it could be used to make flame effects, painting fire. I would definitely recommend it for like, especially a base coat, which you can refine it. This is the thing, is like it's the sloppy, non-precise portion just to get the basis down for flame, for instance, like you said. And then you can always refine it and touch it up. So yeah, definitely. I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
I'm starting to think these things aren't gonna last for the whole stream.
The wraiths?
If
Yeah.
it makes you feel better, I don't think my drawing is gonna last that long either.
And honestly, this guy could probably be tabletop ready pretty fast too. But honestly,
It already looks good. Like outside of like doing like the teeth, like it already looks done to me.
you could, I mean, yeah, it has some cool gradient going on. Basically, I'll just be making sure you can see the details clearly, but the coloration is pretty much where I'd want it to be.
Yeah.
But this might be a good one to call it pretty much on time, because I'm still going to be painting masters afterward, so. DMN says, I have a huge pile of shame, Chris, so you could help me go through my backlog if you need more to paint.
Oh, I still got stuff I need to paint.
Yeah.
I have all the Battletech stuff now, and I haven't done any of that.
All right.
That's because I feel like I need to get different paints to like do something that's all metal. I don't know. I guess maybe I could do it with these. Or maybe
you
it's
have
like
a metallic, right?
I have a silver and a gold, but like, I'd want to like. Wouldn't I need like, I don't know, like I see like what Topulus and like McGreg and stuff do, and it's like, wow, like that stuff looks like it's metal, and it's wild, like getting like that brushed metal effect.
Well, you can mix regular paint into your metallics, and to a point, it's gonna still look metallic. So you could get like the shading and the different shades and textures by mixing your regular colored paints into the metallics. So you can give that a shot. Because there'll still be some of the flakes in there that make it shimmery and shiny.
I think I'll try that with one. I don't know. I just see like the stuff that people do, and it's like, oh.
Isn't it inspiring though? Like, I don't know. There's this one mini. I think I bring it up all the time, but I'm never gonna get over how detailed the paint job on like the mini's cloak is. Like he did individual like designs as like I had sent it to Hamster a while ago, but it's an insane level of detail, and it just makes me want to paint more and get more like involved in what I'm actually like pattern and design wise doing with minis. I need to get a lamp.
Yeah.
Yup.
Do you hit highlights on a translucent mini? Or are the highlights just the parts where the translucence comes through?
Sorry, I was hair drying. But first of all, yes, I remember that miniature with the crazy freehand mason. That was just insane. I aspire to try something like that soon. No, yeah, you still want to highlight the upper edges to make sure that you can like read the shapes and the faces or whatever it is.
And do you just do that with like white on the tips, or?
Yeah, I would go up to like a pale version of the color you want it to be, almost white. You can do it maybe a soft dry brush even, just to catch the detail so you can see what it is. It doesn't just look like a blob. That's basically what I'm gonna do with this now. Is just make sure you can read what it looks like.
Man, painting sure is hard.
Sure is. Alright, I'm done with my first drawing.
Let's see it.
It says it's unsuccessful with sharing, so cool.
Good sign, good sign.
Yeah. Abbott Burner says, I spent ages trying to get dark metallics. Now we have a few, so only use metallics for metal. No NMM for me. I want minis painted quickly.
Yeah, I haven't mastered non-metallic metal, but I've tried it a couple times. It's fun when you get it to work, but it takes some fiddling. I haven't quite gotten great at it.
Your last week one was really good.
Yeah, but that was with metallic paints. But that was similar. I shaded that with regular washes and paints.
I tried doing non-metallic metal, and was on that sword. I think that was a couple weeks ago, and that didn't go too great.
It's a hard technique. It's really an advanced thing.
It's very complicated. Yeah. I want to be very careful with the base here, but I want to have a solid rock that this thing's floating above. Oh man, I feel like I need to get a liner at some point. Just like, isn't there like a thin, like that thin rubber thing that you put paint on, that's like not a brush but use it to apply paint to like get like really specific with details or something?
saber?
Yeah, we have one of those. I don't use it a ton. I mean, you can get used to just keeping the paint on the tip.
Maybe you can.
But it's an interesting tool. Yeah, you'll just be going back to the paint a lot because it will dry on the tip, but it would definitely be precise. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Honestly, having the base even partially done is making this pop a lot more for me. Just having
Ooh, have
something
you done
here.
basing yet, Chris?
No, I have a lot of stuff to practice basing. Maybe that's something I'll do. Maybe that's what I'll do next week. Is I'll prep something that I'll prep one of the asset box things or asset drop things that is about like basing, because they gave me like a bunch of supplies, and some of the stuff is for like making like a cork base, or like using cork to like customize like a base, and like they give you like these little metal spears to have sticking out of it and stuff like that, and all these basing materials.
That's awesome.
To make like a volcanic base basically. So maybe I'll try that next time, because I haven't done any like basing like that before. I've put minis on a plain base, but I haven't like really dressed up a base. All I've done is paint. I've brought out some details on bases, but
Yeah, it's fun. Fun adding a bunch of different materials. I like cork. I like starting with cork a lot. I'm trying to do this thing. I'm forgetting the name of the painter, but it's like Kata or something, and she always does these like weird striations over everything and these huge broad like shifts in color. And I'm gonna try to do something similar where there's just like, especially because it's sort of ghostly, where there'll be a sort of like these white odd shapes and lines that make it sort of ethereal, and then we'll glaze the colors that I have laid down back over it, and then do it again, so there's sort of this layer of different shades of that stuff.
Nice. I love ethereal stuff. So I'm team ethereal.
I'm a big fan
Are we
of the
picking
ethereal
sides
march.
on it? Are we doing sides? Huh?
Sides?
Yeah.
What do you mean sides?
Team ethereal, team nah.
I don't think anybody here dislikes ethereal.
Okay, good. What were you saying before? I was just trying to fill the space.
Oh, okay. I was saying I'm a
Good
pretty big fan of the ethereal march.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen Star Wars? I can't remember if Star Wars is one of the things you haven't seen.
Yes, I've seen Star Wars. I love Star Wars very much.
Okay. So I know Chelsea hasn't seen Star Wars. Also, the weird thing though is, so like Star Wars isn't like a big thing for me. But like Miles' fiance, Ame, although wait, I think they might actually be married now. I can't remember.
What?
They haven't done like the wedding yet because a pandemic happened, but I think they might have gotten it officialized, like done the
Oh.
yeah. So I think that happened. The point is,
Congrats.
Ame has not seen Star Wars at all, and that's wild to me because Star Wars is genuinely like one of Miles' favorite things.
Well, they have plenty of time stuck inside to watch it.
I do wonder if he's had her watch it during the quarantine. It is the perfect time to make people watch things that they don't want to watch. I don't think she does. I don't think she does. I don't think that she doesn't want to watch it. I know for Chelsea, it's like a point of pride, where because it's a thing that everybody's just like, I can't believe you haven't watched this. She's like, well, now I don't want to like stop.
Exactly. I hate that rhetoric. I get that like the shock of not having seen a classic film, but it does actually like make you like you don't want to watch it.
I don't think
Based on my own experience.
I don't think I've ever avoided watching something because somebody wanted me to watch it. But
No. It's not like that. It's more like a. Like it's just
annoying.
it gets
It's
thrown in
annoying
your
when
face
people,
so
like,
much that you're like,
yeah,
yeah.
that happens a lot when it comes to like nerd stuff, I guess. Like I know that's like a big thing. Everybody was like, how, like, why don't you watch Game of Thrones? I thought you loved like fantasy, and it's like that doesn't mean I'm gonna like everything that's fantasy. Like what? Why? What are you talking about? Um, and like, I just wasn't invested at all in like, uh, Infinity War or Endgame. I just didn't really care about seeing them, and I don't know. It was like this big thing, like, you know, like that's not supposed to be. I don't know, just like this thing of
Yeah, I haven't seen an Avengers movie in ages. I haven't seen the last like 5 of them.
it's just weird when people expect you to have like a loyalty to a genre, I guess. And it's like there are things that I like and don't like in fantasy. I don't know. I don't like things based on whether or not they're fantasy.
Right.
Here, here.
See. But
Sacrilege.
I guess Star Wars is that way for a lot of people too.
Yeah. I hear I have a lot of friends who haven't seen Star Wars, and genuinely I've gotten asked so many times, like, do I really have to watch it? And for a lot of them it's kind of like, no, you don't. It is a
Yeah,
classic.
it's not huge because it's like actually like a phenomenal piece of filmmaking that is like crucial to the human experience or anything, you know, like
Right.
you'll be okay. I don't know. Let's see. However, I like a lot of Star Wars games.
Yeah, you played
Oh man, the
Squadrons,
Lego
huh?
Star Wars?
Yeah, I've been playing Squadrons.
Lego Star Wars is awesome.
Lego Star Wars was genuinely fantastic.
I know, it's like, oh, you're talking about like legitimate games.
Lego Star Wars though, like genuinely, like unironically, is actually like phenomenally good. It's
Isn't it? I love that game.
yeah, like it's unreal. I don't know that anybody would have predicted that it would be as big as it was. No, the Lego Star Wars games are pretty great.
Gotta be honest, I feel like this has already been probably said a million times, but I don't really keep up to date on video games, mostly because I'm console-less and I'm PC-less, so respect the
Yeah,
hustle
me
that I
neither.
don't have.
Yeah, if your entire if your entire like gaming capabilities is Mac, there's not really a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, and I like, as much as I do want a new, like, I don't have a TV, so it's like I do want a like system, but like, to what?
Well, and it's also
I
like
have no idea.
and even then, like, even if you play games, like keeping up on everything that's coming out is a huge task and not something that I expect everybody to be doing. In like 80 capacity, there's so much coming out, and there's no way that you can play it all. The size of my backlog is gigantic. What's that?
Now I can play them. I'm going to.
What?
Nothing. I'm being sassy. Nothing.
Oh.
Just ignore me.
Okay.
Just the worst.
I try to keep on top of everything just because the medium like fascinates me. Because it's a medium that's in its infancy still. And so watching it develop and seeing like the trends pop up, it's just really exciting to me.
Do you think
Even
you're
though-
gonna get a new PS or whatever?
Do you think I'm gonna get a PS5?
Yeah.
Eventually. I'm not super pressed about getting it now. Like, there's still so many things I need to play from this generation. There's still things I need to play from like the PlayStation 2. So like I'm not in a phenomenal rush. I have plenty of things to play, and I'll get around to playing them as I can, you know? Like, I just got a VR headset, so I've been getting into VR stuff.
I love that thing.
The Quest 2? Yeah, you really got into it.
That fake fighting game is awesome.
I still haven't actually played that one myself.
Well, it's great.
I believe you. All right.
Yeah, Lego, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Harry Potter. That was pretty
They're all
fun.
really solid.
Yeah.
Like it's funny. It's not something I would have expected to be a phenomenal experience, but they really did a great job with those.
You guys remember the original Harry Potter art though on like PlayStation? The character design.
Man, I never played the
First
Harry
and
Potter
second
games on
game.
PlayStation. I did
Oh,
play
it's a
some on
trope.
Game Boy.
Let me bring some up.
I played this Harry Potter RPG. I think it was Chamber of Secrets. That was on the Game Boy
Color?
I think it was Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I played that one.
I was so obsessed with trying to collect all the cards and leveling up all the spells as high as they could go. I have completionist tendencies, and it becomes a real problem sometimes.
Alright, I'm gonna pop a photo of Hagrid, Hagrid's character art from one of the PlayStation games in the Discord chat.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're gonna... It was pretty bad.
Let's see.
We have a question from Paul Setter. So I'm agonizing on the decision. Should I buy an unpainted cavern set with paint and make my own Underdoom? I have a pre-painted crystal cavern set, with the difference between the factory painted and the home painted be so obvious.
I guess that's the thing is,
Okay.
are you going to be
Yeah.
building Underdoom in line with other stuff, where you're going to notice the difference between your job and factory job? I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing too: is the factory does have a little bit of variance, like to it, just because they produce so many pieces. So what I would say is, yeah, look at Joy Dwarven painting, which sounds like you already have, but you got to match it to the pieces that you own. So, you know, when you're looking at it on the computer screen, you're watching Aaron do it. If it looks a little different, your best compass is your own pieces that you're trying to match, which is what we do with like all the masters and everything too. Like we have a couple that we make sure are like matched.
Interesting. Well, I think that's everything I need to do for the base. Uh-oh. Just please stand up while your base dries. I think that's all good. Then yeah, I guess I'm gonna try highlighting, which I'm very nervous about.
Have you not highlighted before?
Highlighting on translucent is weird.
Oh, that's
feel.
right. You're doing translucence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't even... The hamster's here!
Yeah, just to try a light dry brush at first. Just get a lot of it off on the towel and just go gradually.
Should I just be dry brushing like white along the edges or something, or?
Yeah, probably just like a white or ivory. If you want, you can mix a little of your wash color in with the white to make it less extreme and go more gradually.
I'm very nervous.
Are you able to do like a test?
Well, start with the yeah. You can do test, or start with the topmost part because your first brush strokes are probably going to be a little bit brighter, if anything. So start at the top, the back of the top maybe, just so the front face is maybe neater. But to start from the top down, just keep the strokes on the top down.
From the top down.
Yeah, just go vertically, and just like a feather duster. It should never be. If you feel like you have to press hard, that just means you gotta add more paint and rub it off again.
Ha ha ha.
Hi, Finley.
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh man.
What's up?
Like, what are you worried about? What's gonna happen? What's your worry?
It's gonna look bad.
But okay, you've done well. So just make sure rub your if you're doing dry brushing, rub more paint off than you would think, because what's gonna happen is, you're gonna barely notice it at first, and you're gonna have to build up the pigments, the dried pigments in the brush as you go. So as you rub off more and more paint each time, you're gonna get a greater effect and start to see it. So it's gonna take a little bit, but if you just really rub it off on that towel, you're barely even gonna see it. And just do feather duster pressure. That's how much pressure it should be.
How often do you feather dust, Chris?
I don't.
All right. Well, mini painting is going to be good training for feather dusting. Oh, even in my head, when you were saying feather duster, I was trying to think like, how much pressure do you put on a feather duster, and when's the last time I've dusted? It's been a
Well,
minute.
when's the last time you dusted?
I dusted last. Was that Dwarven Forge? I don't even remember what I was dusting, but I distinctly remember, like, I had to find the feather duster because it hadn't been used in so long. It's within the past 3 months.
I'm not surprised.
Okay. Wasn't like we're doing the deep cleaning and stuff today, but today has not even been like, we're not even to dusting level yet at the office.
I mean, it hasn't really been maintained in a long time.
No, it hasn't. It's a lot of chaos. But we made good headway today on it. So hopefully, over break, I'll be able to over Christmas, the holiday break, not the Thanksgiving one. I'll be able to actually, when everybody's out of the office, kind of make it look better.
Yeah, because you're still having to deal with people needing to work in there.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I'm having to kind of move things that people are currently using, and I know that there's some objects that are even in use, so it's hard to clean those up when they're being used. So once everything's kind of siloed off and everybody's out of the office, not using any equipment, that's when it's going to be able to be major change.
Yeah, there's a lot of clutter that I haven't touched in months, so I apologize. I basically just gotta go through the garbage bag, I think.
It's all good. The amount of bags that Casey and I took out today from both rooms was insanity. And all it was the recycling that we hadn't been getting around to, and just normal trash. So it's
Ooh-wee.
there's a lot of structure that needs to go in place about it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's it's cathartic.
I get that.
Yep. All right. Rabbit Burner says, "Where I am working, they are pushing me to go perm. In this work climate, really is." Oh, I don't understand. Oh, it's because there's a huge amount of conversation that happened before that.
You're working again. Imagine second contracts. Feather dusting pressure is lighter than Swiffer pressure.
Then
That's
Swiffer-
fair. All right. Let's see.
I know you guys are still going to be on next week, but I'm not going to be able to ask all the Thanksgiving questions I want. So, do you guys have like Thanksgiving movies, kind of like holiday or like Halloween movies?
Not really. I'm just not a huge. I don't have like a lot of holiday traditions. Just in general. Like the only holiday I ever really cared much for since I came out to New York was Christmas because that's like the one time a year I would go home. Um, outside of that, I'd be alone for every holiday, so I never really developed like traditions around it or anything.
Yeah, there are a lot of Thanksgiving movies.
Well, like I was thinking, the only one I could think of is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I was going to say that, but I
Oh
was
yeah.
going to ask if there was more than just that one.
I mean, there's the Charlie Brown,
Oh yeah.
Peanuts.
Did you hear that this year is the first year that they're not going to be showing Charlie Brown, like any of the movies on national TV?
Nope,
Because
they changed it.
I think
They
Apple
changed
TV
it.
got it.
They changed it because there was an outcry.
Did?
Yep, they're gonna play it.
All right. Just imagine.
Okay, I think I'm understanding the highlighting, dry brushing thing now.
Nice.
Let's see. I guess actually, so if I had a Thanksgiving tradition, it would be that for the last couple years, I've gone to watch a movie alone in theaters on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Because I usually would be the only one here. Everybody else I know would have gone home. And so last year it was Jojo Rabbit.
Oh,
which,
nice.
Oh,
which was great because that's like one of my favorite movies of all time now. Then the first year I started doing it, it was Blade Runner 2049, which again was great. So
yeah.
I guess that's like my Thanksgiving tradition, I suppose, but I can't really do that this year.
Yeah, but now you're spending Thanksgiving with people, which is worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's better to be with Miles and Tyler than some family, you know?
Yeah.
Although...
I gotta say, go ahead.
Actually, the family I would be spending Thanksgiving with wouldn't be that bad if I were home for Thanksgiving. I just don't go home for Thanksgiving.
I'm not a huge fan of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I like the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I like the food a lot. That's...
But especially with like the Christmas, it's like it's a lot to go home for both. They're like really close together, kind of. So I would normally pick Christmas for me.
Well, and the reason I always pick Christmas was that it's right by my birthday and my mom's birthday. And so I'd go back for 2 weeks, and I'd have my mom's birthday and Christmas and New Year's and my birthday. And it's like, it's just the most time effective to go now.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm actually...
I might always go home for both, but like, it was never on purpose.
You
Wait,
just
no, because
accidentally go
last
home.
year I don't know. I don't do Thanksgiving at home. Turns out, just don't remember anything.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way this is going so far.
Nice.
With the way that the highlighting is going.
Awesome.
It's not the cleanest, but I think I understand it conceptually now, so I'm hoping that it will read well by the end. Let's see.
Yeah, Mitch, I'm kind of sort of doing an aggressive glaze over the white highlights that I did. I'm gonna do like another round of them to give it a little more oomph, but this will just be that sort of underlayer to add some interest. But yeah, I was adding some pink paint, and I'm kind of sponging it off with a brush, getting it where it's sort of pooling, getting some of it off of there. Last time I looked, there were white highlights. Yeah, so I'm gonna do those again. So hopefully, there's some of these, maybe a little hard. Some of these swirly swirls will still appear underneath, but there will be brighter ones on top. So like a couple layers of that.
That.
Perspective is hard.
What is?
Perspective, like when you're doing a drawing and you have to make it so that there's like
Oh,
depth.
yeah.
I'm doing a drawing, so I'm trying to make Christmas cards. It's like, I don't know, it's gonna have like a pun on stockings and somebody like staring in somebody's window stocking. And it's really hard. Oh well.
What's the hardest thing for you to draw?
Basically anything that exists, I'm pretty bad at. I don't know. I'm pretty new to actually trying to draw. Like normally I draw doodly stuff because doodles are fun and don't require a lot of like patience or skill. But I'm trying to get better about being more realistic. I still like want to be fairly doodly. I don't know how to describe it. It's like still impressionistic, but just more real form. I don't know if that makes any sense. But,
It does.
yeah, trying to be better about that. It's quite a challenge. I also normally do cross hatching and stuff, and I'm trying to do better with like color shading. So I've been using that a lot more. I prefer cross hatching. I like the style of it. It's just I want to like expand my field.
For me, it's facial features.
Ooh, I get that. What about facial features?
Just drawing people who have them.
Yep.
Vastly prefer people without faces, frankly.
really challenging. Once you kind of get like a rhythm of how you know how to, I feel like you have to separate it into like which, like, so you would have to nail down your style of how to do eyes, and then separately nail down how you do noses, work on profiles and everything like that, and then mouths, and then figure out how they work together is really hard, but like it also pays off once you kind of have the singulars down.
So it's a little messy, but pretty happy with the way the highlights came out.
Nice, yeah. See, you can see all the folds and everything. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
great.
It's on that one. Definitely some areas done better, but I think it has like a kind of ghostly effect to it.
Absolutely, it looks awesome. That's exactly what I was imagining when I was trying to, you know, talk about how to do it.
But
Disney Shards has 98.8 thousand channel points, and then
He's-
Rabbit Burner has 41.9 thousand.
he's been here consistently from the beginning, so I'm not surprised. He's been one of the most dedicated Twitch viewers since the channel started.
I'm not surprised, but also we have to figure out some stuff to do with these points.
Yeah.
Can you
Well, it's
customize
tough, right?
what points do?
Yeah, you can put custom things in there. Like my friend Perry has a command in there to they can redeem points to make him dab. And so every now and then, when we know he's on camera, if he's trying to have like a fairly serious moment, we'll all just redeem as many points as we can to get him to dab like 20 times in a row.
Oh.
Stuff like that, you know? So there's things like that. There's another one of my friends, Raz. He has like some super high value ones where I think for like 50,000 points you can redeem it and ask him to learn any song on the omnichord, and then he'll perform it in the next
Oh
stream.
my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love omnichords.
So I had him do "Fly Me to the Moon." And then he has another one that's more points than that. I can't remember how many. That is, you give him a challenge with like a condition for like what happens if he can't do the challenge, and then he'll do a couple streams trying to do that thing, like a game challenge basically. And so for one of them, it was it was another one of our friends who challenged him to beat Getting Over It in under 20 minutes. And if he couldn't do it, if he gave up after he had 2 different streams of like 3 hours each trying to do it, and that was after he had like practiced for a while too, and he failed, so he had to tweet out a bunch of pictures of Baby Grinch,
No.
and also tweet out a link to his new professional website, resbutin.com, which Mac had churned into a collection of Baby Grinch edits that we'd made. It now redirects to his YouTube channel. But for one glorious day, if you search for Rasputin, you would just find a page full of Grinch edits. I've made some Baby Grinch edits that I'm pretty proud of.
Did you actually get that Grinch hood?
Yes.
Right.
And I sent it to Mac, and I was like, "Hey, I'm getting this. We got to think of some way we can use it to prank Raz." So, we're thinking of that. I'm very excited for that Grinch hood. I don't think you understand how excited I am. Like, when you sent that to me, I think that's how I replied to you too on Slack. You sent me that, and you're like, "Hey, isn't this weird?" And I was like, "I hope you realize that when you sent this to me, I was going to buy it immediately."
I figured you would appreciate it. I didn't know you were gonna buy it. But, like,
I bought.
photo
You've
to be
seen.
that...
You've seen the things that I buy.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. You bought one of those
What?
shirts with me.
Oh my gosh. I still I've never worn that, and I can't get it. Like, I can't give it to my laundry guy either, because I'm like, will he be offended? Like, That shirt's horrible, Chris. We
It's not horrible. It's a great shirt.
No, it's horrible.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I think everybody takes it as being offensive.
For about what?
I don't know, but like somebody at a bar was really mean to me once because I was wearing it because they were sweet as like freaking pie to Casey, and then I stroll in, nice demeanor and everything, wearing that shirt, and they're cold. They're like so cold. They turned immediately, and they were not having me, and I think it's because of that stupid shirt.
I disagree. I think it's just you. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that shirt.
Right.
That shirt at a bar in Brooklyn, if it had an effect on anybody, they would absolutely adore it.
All right, so
they would resonate with the message of that shirt.
I just found this shirt. It's made by somebody that was supposed to support BLM movement, correct?
It's a shirt that somebody in Japan made, trying to support Black Lives Matter, and there's just a lot of things that got lost in translation, and it's just a lot of really bizarre sentences. It's very, very good.
So it's not though, because then like
it's so funny.
No, because it's like I'm interested in that movement and everything too, and then I feel like using that shirt makes it seem less sincere.
Nah, I don't think that's the case.
I also I overthink everything, so it could genuinely just be like she hated me, which sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's a much more. I think it's a much more reasonable thing to expect that. I think it's a much more reasonable thing to expect that they just hate you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know why that wasn't my knee jerk.
Let's see. Oh, this turtle seems really cool too. I'm like looking for something else to paint now.
Crank those out pretty quick, huh?
What is this shirt? Curious how far the translation went wrong.
Pretty bad. Like a bad translation.
Yeah.
What does it say? It says it has an obnoxiously high number, like 3,500,000,000 more dead.
Yeah, I
have it here. I'll grab it.
It's literally in the trillions. No, let's. Let's see.
So it says.
What do I paint now?
Born to Die. World of Fuck. Kill 'em all. 1989. I am Trash Man.
Kill 'em all. 1989 is my favorite thing.
410,757,000,000,8 billion. Oh, wait, no. Okay. Too many commas. 410,757,864,530 dead cops.
It's just a collection of so many odd things. And then the picture is a cat and a dog. Like, it's just a weird shirt.
Quarantine purchase where it's like, oh, I'm not thinking of anything, and then Chris sends me this shirt, and I was like, are you trying to call me out on something? And he's like, no, I'm saying that I would walk hand in hand with you matching in these shirts. We've only ever worn it once. I feel so awkward about wearing it that I don't know if we're ever gonna wear it again. And I have one photo of us looking incredibly awkward with these matching shirts. And you didn't even wear it into the office that day. You had to like change into it. So I know there's shame.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't wear it on stream.
Mm-hmm.
The translation is off by 1 million. It's just a very odd shirt.
I don't know. I've made better judgment calls than that.
Just buying weird things is fun. I don't know. So she sent me.
I will say that I've got.
So she sent me a hood of the Grinch. Like, and I think there's literally just holes for the where the eyes are, I think. And it looks like a
Yeah.
monstrosity, so I bought that. Let's see.
I also like buying stupid things, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not that mad about wearing the shirt. I know I'm putting up a big fuss, but I'm just never gonna wear it.
In context, there's a Japanese band called Coward's Way Out. They decided to make their band name into English to be cool. Bump of Chicken.
That's an awesome band name. Bump of Chicken is a good band name.
That actually is. It's not what they intended, but I do think it actually came off pretty well.
It's kind of like if you're gonna get a bump of Coke, or you could get a bump of chicken. Just put it on
Jeez.
my pink. And you could gum some barbecue sauce too.
So I'm assuming that it's because Coward and Chicken have like similar roots.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how Bump. I'm trying to figure out
Coward's Way Out.
how Bump got related to Way Out.
Maybe they have a synonym for Way Out that is similar to Bump.
It's certainly an odd one.
Do you like that band name though?
Bump of Chicken? Is that
Bump
more
of
ska
Chicken.
or punk?
Can it be both?
Probably ska punk.
Crossover, is it called Paw or Skunk?
I think Skunk. Skunk is pretty good.
Got the
Bump of
smell
Chicken
right.
is rap, I think. Wait, they're a rap? They're a rap group? God, that's really funny. Reminds me of, there's an Unisonus video where they played Mad Libs, and then they sent it through Google Translate through, like, 5 different languages, and then brought it back, and then read the Mad Libs, like, with the translation. And it's weird. It's very, very weird and very funny.
Do you watch that channel, Hamster?
Which
Well,
one?
He can't now.
With Honest?
No, I've never heard of that.
It was like a Markiplier and some Cranko Games or something.
Cranko
channel.
Games! Crank Gameplays.
I don't know what
Which
it's-
isn't much better, honestly. Cranko Games is very good.
Yeah, it's a bump of Cranko.
You can buy this
but,
stuff on Amazon,
I
apparently.
also had not watched it, and Chris has been talking about it a lot. But apparently it was a
talking
huge
about it a
sensation.
lot.
for a while.
It was a pretty big deal.
No,
I mean,
you
their final live stream had 1.5 million people watching. At the end.
Right.
So it was this challenge where they decided they were going to make a video every day for a year, and then at the end of the year, they were going to delete it all. And so they did that. It got deleted last Thursday. I think.
Why? What was the point of that?
The point is that in a culture obsessed with like kind of permanence and putting things off and all that, just like the idea of like everything on YouTube, it's like, you know, it's all permanent. Like, is it possible to still use this platform to be like a thing that to still like kind of live in the moment, basically?
All right.
Really, it was a challenge just to see if they could do it, to see if they could pull off making a video every day for a year.
Yeah.
And I think the mortality and impermanence aspect of it didn't really start coming in until a way through it for a lot of people, when they started realizing like, oh man, wait, these videos that I like watching are going to be gone. Like, that's wild. And so it was this whole thing of like, we just want this to be, we want to see what would happen if we made a thing that is only there for the people who are here, like, while it's happening. And then what would it be like if we treated it like it dies, and the only thing, you know, you can't go back and watch it anymore. And so now all the conversation is just people remembering it, you know?
Yeah, that is interesting.
So it was, I don't know. It's interesting because I'm not really interested in watching either of their content separately. I'm not really big on the kind of stuff that they do. And not all of the videos were like my kind of thing. They did a lot of like really, really weird stuff. which a lot of it would be like really funny. But then there were some videos that were more serious, and some of them that were just kind of them exploring something that's kind of cool. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing to see, and I guess like, and as a creative, especially because they hadn't planned on it happening during, like, they didn't know what was going to happen in 2020, you know.
Yeah.
And so, as a creative who has struggled in this year to keep creating, and all that jazz, it served as a great way to kind of reflect on a lot of things and think about my approach to making things and the way that I treat my role as a creative, and what I'm getting out of it, what kind of pressure I'm putting on myself, in what way. Like, basically, like, think about, like, can I have a healthier relationship to this stuff?
It's cool.
So I don't know. It was an interesting thing while it was happening.
Have you, like, come away with any realization then? Like, after you realized, like, about the, like, your pressure on yourself, also how to stay creative and all that? What was the reflection you had, I guess, is a better way to say it.
The problem is I get in my way a lot of the times where I very much want to do things right. Which can often translate into me deciding that I am not capable of doing them in the moment. Which then often translates into not doing them at all.
Yeah.
And it's then that thing of like, okay, so how long am I going to how long am I going to decide, like, I'm not allowed to do this thing? You know? At what point do I decide, no, it's actually okay for me to do this now? And I don't know. Because it's funny, because I used to make things very, very quickly and make them a lot. Make like a lot of videos. But I look back at this stuff and like I'm not happy with it at all, because I feel like I was making things just to get them out there. Which isn't in itself bad. But I didn't really think much about what it is I was making and what I was putting out there and whether it was worth having out there. And so I do think that it was growth on my part to kind of move into making things less often, but have them all be things that I'm happy with, like, having people see, you know?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. But, you know, have I gone too far in that direction where I am, like, unfairly, like, limiting myself and putting pressure on myself that I don't need to be putting? That's a leading question where the answer has to be yes. But, you know.
Yes.
So that's that thing. Because I don't know, it's like, there's a lot of projects that I've left like half done the last year or so because I would get working on it and I would feel like I just wasn't doing it well enough for it to be worth putting out there. And so I'm looking at like this collection of like half done things that I have that I've just decided I wasn't ready to do, and it's like, why not just like do them, I guess. But I don't know. Like there was
I hear you. I have so I like, it's hard to make that call sometimes where you just have to get over yourself, or like not to say it like that, because I don't think that you're like caught up in anything, but just like having to push beyond the fear of like your current imperfections, because the future you is not going to get any better, especially without the practice of putting in that time.
And it's a thing where like I know that all those really bad things I made before when I was making stuff all the time are the reason why I can make better stuff now. So right. Like in theory, I should know that continuing to make things is only going to help. But for some reason, I hit a point where I started telling myself, like, you know, you should have this figured out by now. You should Like, you should be better than this by this point. And so then I just stopped making things a lot of the time, which sucks because I'd get there and I get like a paralysis about it. And it's been helpful to do things like the natural ones because then those are things on a schedule where I can't stop. I can't not do it, you know. And when it's stuff for work, where it's like no, like I have to do this. It's easier to get it done in that respect. But then when it's anything that like I'm doing for me, anything that I'm like passionate about, it's super easy to like just stop myself from doing it.
Hear you.
So I don't know. And it's also a thing that Miles was very into as well, so it was cool to talk to him about what connected to him about it, because as close as we are very different people, and stuff reads for us in very different ways. So it's cool to get his perspective on things because we rarely have the same perspective.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Good bonding stuff. And not to change the conversation, but we did have a question from the Six of Clubs. What are you painting? Sorry.
Oh, this is another Relic Blade guy. It's sort of an illusion that a dwarf wizard can summon. So it's kind of a cool thing where his ability puts a miniature on the table. Sort of like a living spell in Warhammer or something.
Yeah, Relic Blade has a couple of those, and they're some of my favorite pieces.
So it's sort of an illusion beast thing. Yeah, this is the Moldorf expedition, the neutral dwarves. Oh my gosh, yeah, over a period of the last like 8 months, over quarantine, I've gotten almost everything that the store offers for Relic Blade. It's really fun, so really characterful models, and the game is fun and fast-paced, and yeah.
I would love for Relic Blade to take off.
It keeps growing. They've done a few Kickstarters now, and each one gets bigger than the last. So I think it's gonna stay alive for a while.
I hope so. Oh, dwarves are so awesome. Relic Blade played with 3. It's probably possible to like fiddle with it to make it available for more than 2 players. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so. I've played 3 players.
Oh, that's literally exactly what he's asking about. Excellent.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta fiddle with the objective or scenario a little bit or whatever, but it definitely works. I mean, it's definitely one of those games that's just like the spirit of fun is its biggest thing that it encourages. So just play it however you like. Great. I think it'd be great to play with kids because the basic rules are simple, but as they get better and more familiar with it, there's some good depth to it, and it's fast paced.
Yeah, it's very easy to understand. At least I was able to pick it up fast. I beat you down with it.
You sniped me.
That Grenadier, man. I still can't get over how good that Grenadier was.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I love the mounted minis as well. The mounted characters are really cool.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff. Hey, Rabbit, good night. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, Rabbit.
Let's see. Oh man. I have no idea what music my Spotify is playing anymore. I started it on. What's up?
Can't even hear it.
Well, yeah. But like, I started on Jack Garrett, and it got off of Jack Garrett a while ago, and now it's just like playing some stuff where I was like, okay, I can see how you got to hear from Jack Garrett, but I still have no idea what it is.
I've been really into GMT lately. I've been re-listening to a lot of their old stuff. Basically, like, to be very real, I've been on TikTok too much, so I've been listening to a lot of the songs that people like dance to and stuff on TikTok. Some pretty good bops there.
Bop City.
They're the ones that did that cover of Naive Melody, yeah?
GMT?
Yeah.
I don't.
There's like this
No.
video of them performing it on the street from before they were like a band people knew about.
I don't. That. I mean, I don't know about that. Maybe
I'm pretty
they've
sure.
been pretty big for a long time.
Yeah, it was that's what I mean. It's like it was an old video, like.
Okay.
It was back when MGMT was like first, kind of becoming a thing. That I saw the video.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'll have to look it up.
Like it was like right when Kids was getting big.
Where are they from? Do you know?
MGMT, I think they're Canadian.
I just feel like everybody's from New York.
If they were from America, they'd
it's my
probably be
own
from New
per-
York. They'd either be from New York or Seattle if they're from America.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I feel like every band that I look up, they've had history in Brooklyn, but I also like maybe it's just that's what I noticed because I'm like, hey, Brooklyn. But
Confirmation bias.
yeah, exactly.
It's possible. I listen to a lot of Australian stuff, I guess. I don't know.
You have like a very worldly. You really like those. What is it called? Eurovision songs.
I genuinely think Eurovision has some good stuff in it. I know like it mostly gets memed on, but like there's some genuinely really good stuff out of Eurovision.
I
But, yeah.
genuinely like the movie, the Will Ferrell movie.
I haven't seen it.
It actually was surprisingly good,
haven't
I thought.
either.
Hey, Recon.
That's what I've heard from people. I'm surprised to see Rachel McAdams in a humorous role too.
She was great.
Wasn't she in? She's in other funny stuff, wasn't she?
She's in Mean Girls.
Yeah.
But besides that, I feel like she's always in like dramas or
Wasn't she
rom-coms.
wasn't she in Midnight in Paris? Although I guess she wouldn't have been. I feel like she was in Midnight in Paris.
Maybe. I don't know that movie very well. I also don't really like that movie, so
That's fair.
I can't finish it.
Woody Allen is a very. It's either your taste or he isn't, and even then, with some of his movies, it's like very hit or miss.
That movie just felt like it was, I don't know, like it's hipster paradise, which is fine, but it's hipster paradise in a way that it's like so cliche. Like it's just somebody wanted to hang out in a room of like, wow, there's F. Scott Fitzgerald and like, oh my gosh, all these other famous people, and it doesn't feel like it's actually accomplishing much, which is fine. Like that's its own thing. Like it's eye
No,
candy, but it's
I
not my.
I can definitely agree. I have no idea why that movie was made.
I don't know.
I'm that way with most of his stuff though, where it feels like he just wanted to make a thing.
It's like Wes Anderson's the same kind of way where it's just mostly like it's just candy. Like it's not sustenance or anything, but I prefer that over Woody Allen's style. I also like don't like him as a person. So
I
that
don't know
helps.
that I agree with that as much. I think he does
Okay.
have things he wants to talk about.
Like
he's
what?
I think he talks a lot about kind of like the breakdown in communication, how difficult it is to communicate with people. That might be a lot of me projecting, but I think that's
You have
what
examples?
a lot of. I think that's like almost the entire. I think it's like almost the entire thing of Moonrise Kingdom.
Communication?
It's a major part of it. Like it's coming of age thing, but it's also like there's like no ability to really talk between him and his family, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole running away thing is pretty exclusively because these are like the only two people that like these kids are the only ones who understand each other, basically. And so
Even then, they don't really understand each other though, because he has that whole. It's like the famous scene where she's like, blah 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 blah, and he's like, "I love you, but you have no idea what you're talking about." What is it? He's lucky he's an orphan or something like that.
something like that, yeah. But I think I don't know. It's it deals with a lot of disaffection, and I think the main thing is that it usually he focuses a lot more on portrayal than he does on like commentary, which I think is the thing. So I wouldn't say that he ever really like gives a strong point of view about like what should be done about things necessarily, but he certainly portrays a lot of stuff that I feel I can relate to when it comes to the difficulty approaching things. Like I feel like that's a lot of it with Life Aquatic. I think he generally writes characters that aren't really able to talk about what it is that's bothering them. Which, you know. Ugh.
What did you what did you pull out to paint after the wraiths?
I'm doing some scatter that some graveyard scatter
Oh,
that I got from Asset Drop.
Oh, cool.
Just because I figured like I should keep working on something.
Yeah, Recon, I got a another Relic Blade guy. This is a spell, actually, that puts a mini on the board, so it's some sort of illusion.
Oh,
Yeah, it's cool sculpt. I like it.
let's see. What else? Oh, man, you guys are talking about food in chat. I really should have.
Yeah, I gotta eat something.
I always forget to eat and then wonder why I'm tired all the time.
That'll do it. I forgot to eat until like right before we started, so I've had one meal today. I'm blissfully not concentrating very well because I've also drank on pretty much an empty stomach, so
Nice.
having a lot of fun. Yeah. Wargaming Recon says he's been working on more painting of DF terrain, the video collab that he's doing.
Oh, nice.
Woo.
Which terrain? He says it isn't forgetting to eat. You're doing intermittent fasting. It's all the rage these days.
Oh, yeah,
That
there
is
you go.
true. Oh, I
It is-
wish I had the self-control to do that sort of thing.
I am actually trying to do that sort of thing. It's going pretty well, as you can tell.
Fair.
Hard to drink when you don't eat enough.
Yeah, I would love for the times that I eat and don't eat to be intentional instead of just me forgetting everything all the time.
I just feel like it's so impossible for my body to forget to eat unless it's intentional. Like, every single time I look at the clock, I'm only looking to see how soon I can eat. Like, I don't actually care about the time. I'm not trying to see how much has passed, if I have to wake up, if I have to go to bed or anything. I'm seeing how soon can I eat from now.
Yeah, I actually desperately don't want to know how much time has passed most of the time.
Yeah, I avoid time at all costs.
I'm running from it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what Unisanus is about.
All right.
Oh, hey, Crate said he finally primed his BattleTech minis.
Dude, he got his BattleTech after me too, so I'm really falling behind. I haven't done any of it yet. I need to do that. I'm very excited about them, but I'm also nervous. I don't want to mess them up.
I have a lot of minis that I've glued together, and I glue them together specifically for this, and then I always forget to actually bring the light home. Working on it, I promise.
We need to get you a production assistant.
No. No, not at all. No.
We need somebody explicitly just remind you to get a light.
No.
And we need to pay them for it.
No. I'll just tell Casey. She's my production assistant.
Actually, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, baby. My Spotify has circled around to one of the best Jack Garrett songs. Let's go.
I really like this Jack Garrett guy.
Jack Garrett is very good.
I will say that song was... Go ahead.
He's the music kick I've been on lately, yeah.
The song you sent to me the other day, I did share it with a few other friends, because I did find it enjoyable, but I thought they would like it more than I did. Not that it was bad, it's just like... I don't know. Not sad enough.
Well, Recon, I think I'm answering your question right here. Where do you stand on using tufts instead of flock or clump foliage for basing? I'm using both. I've had a lot of fun adding a bunch of different materials, and I think it makes it look a little more organic just by virtue of having different stuff on there. It's a quick, easy way to give it some variance.
Yeah, I haven't done enough basing to really have an answer.
Me neither. I'm excited for basing though.
I'm wanting to get into basing, actually. I have a lot of basing materials I want to experiment with.
Oh yeah, basing is super fun. It's honestly one of my favorite parts. Like, the difference between a miniature with even a little bit of basing attention done and without is like so vastly superior. Just like, it adds so much with just a little tiny bit.
Well, good thing a year ago when we were planning, we put basing on the calendar for one of our themes.
All your base are belong to us.
Oh, vintage.
That's a vintage meme right there.
It's high quality vintage.
Like, I remember my first models that I painted up, and I just painted the bases green, and then like, you know, a month later I finally got some stuff and I just glued a bunch of green flock to the base, and I was like, holy crap. It like blew my mind.
What's the most elaborate basing that you've done? Nothing?
Sorry, just gluing.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Like I said, most of my stuff is like gaming stuff. I haven't done a humongous display base or anything before. It honestly probably like a year or so, probably 2 years ago now. Yeah, it was. We were still in the old office. I did like this model of my dog for my dad who passed. My dog had passed, and so I did a model. She was like a hunting dog and stuff. So I did this basing of it was challenging, but it was fun. It was like a grassy field, but with light snow on it. So getting down like the different patches that are like frozen over more, but still have grass poking out of it and stuff. That was a challenge.
It's nice that you did that. Is that the one that Hazel reminds you of, the dog?
Yeah. Yeah, she had red spots.
I don't know
And she
why,
has a
but is her
long-haired tail like Hazel does.
her name Bailey?
What's that?
Is her name Bailey? I have the name Bailey in my head.
My dog's name was Daisy.
Never mind. Oh, that's my parents' dog's name.
Oh.
It's a
I was
good
gonna
name.
say, yeah, I also have Bailey on the mind for some reason.
Well, I don't know.
Whatever, yeah, whatever. Whatever you're
We're
thinking,
on this-
Bailey was probably some experience I also shared.
I was just picking up Chris thinking Bailey, 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 Bailey. It's my psychic field.
Is that one of those things added in Tasha's? How do you feel about them bringing psionics back into 5e?
Oh no.
That's how you feel about it?
No, my dad just commented that our dog's name is spelled Daisy like Jay-Z, but with a D.
Oh,
Eat it.
how embarrassing. You want me to ban him?
Yep.
Banned.
Do
Spelled,
it.
spelled DayZ like the game?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, using twigs and rocks and stuff is really useful. So much stuff, even gravel. I've gone out in the driveway back at home and just gotten baggies of gravel and kept it. I haven't used coffee grounds. For leaves, I do have this like a paper punch. So if you get some sort of like crinkly but like kind of sculptable paper like tinfoil or something, you can punch out the leaves.
What shape is it?
Well, you can get a bunch of different shapes of different types of leaves, but some of them, they normally have like an assortment on it. Yeah, I got
Oh,
it
like
from
the
Green
hole
Stuff World.
punch.
Yeah, it's like a hole punch with a leaf shape.
Oh, okay, I see. I was thinking just like circles of leaves.
Yeah, I have coconut fiber. That stuff looks really natural for roots and stuff. I've used mulch. So this guy has a mulch base. This guy's standing on a piece of mulch. And some cork on there too. And sand and everything.
It looks like a limestone or like that slate stone.
Yeah. Yeah, mulch is good. Good for making those kind of slate-shaped rocks. Oh yeah, I have that train ballast will last you a lifetime. You can get a giant freaking jug of that for pretty cheap.
When you do like basing and stuff, do you look up like the actual like if you're trying to go to a certain terrain or like certain ecosystem, will you look up like natural shapes and like textures in the environment, or do you just kind of like know it?
Yeah, sometimes I will for some inspiration, but I'm normally just like going for an exaggerated like fantasy version of it anyway, and so when it comes down to it, especially for gaming models, I want to keep it pretty simple, but just like adding different materials. So like for these bases, I didn't really look at rocks or anything in particular, but I have definitely in the past for inspiration looked at different colored rocks and trees and everything, because there's so many weird colors that you like wouldn't necessarily expect to be in nature, but that they're there. Like I've seen these whole like rocks in the woods that just look like emerald. Like
Oh, weird.
Just like so much more like bright green on the rocks than like you would expect. You think of like dingy earthy tones, right? But like, so sometimes I look at that stuff.
I still like, I don't know. I don't know. Basing is not as intimidating for me as like just starting painting, but starting basing, I'm like, I'm probably going to go overboard the first several times I do it just because I can't stop. Like, I won't leave the project behind.
It's hard to go overboard though. Like every little thing you add to the base will make it more interesting.
Then my basing will be perfect.
Unless it's blood. Unless it's blood spatter. I think less is more with that. Personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang it. I was going to go full blood.
You
I was
were?
just going to do nothing but... Oh, yeah. Rethinking
Alright.
it now, but I still might lean that way.
It's time for the victory lap around the base. And yes, I'll say that every time.
Nice.
All right. Say that guy's ready for the table.
Jeez. That. Oh man.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's ridiculous, man.
Look at those eyes.
Thank you. It turned out cool.
Well. Man.
Recon, these I've just been giving one spray with a matte varnish. Normally I would do a gloss and then a matte for extra protection, but out of laziness I've just given it one or two spritz of matte. I think in general I like a matte finish over glossy, so if I had to pick one I'd probably do that, which that's what I did for a lot of these Relic Blade ones. Yeah, I use Tester's Dull Coat. Oh, DMN, I've never used a grass applicator like the actual static looking thing. But back in the day I had static grass without it, and I soon discovered why it wouldn't stand up. I was just gluing it on the base. Yeah, it is a cool result. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Excellent. Look at that. All right.
Yeah, avoiding electrocution I think is a good strategy.
It's also a good band name.
Avoiding electrocution.
There we go. Soak that up.
Well, let's see. Might actually wrap it up these 10 minutes early because I got to keep painting Wildlands Masters tonight.
Ooh.
I
So
got
we
a
can produce
fair
them.
amount of these done today.
Yeah, you crank those out, man.
Nice.
Like I'm just doing washes on this, and then
I finished a ton of minis as well. I was just doing it on
Yeah.
the sly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coy. I don't want to. I'm too humble to show off my sick designs.
Right.
Right.
Thanks, Topulus. Send the masters to you for proofing? Okay.
thank God he's on top of his job.
Well, let's see. So next week is the holiday, but we're still going to be doing the hamster hobby hang because Chris and I are just hanging in the city. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
have a
might
hobby hang.
have some extra guests. We're not
Yeah.
sure.
That'd be fun.
Depends
works
on
out.
how some things shape up.
Yeah.
But we will at least have something going on here.
Right. And is there an anvil next week before that still, or no?
There is, although we're gonna be doing it's gonna be a lower key sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Someone guessed it. Cthulhu is coming for a guest appearance. That's right.
Man,
Um.
you can't keep anything a secret anymore. You know?
Ooh, a turkey stream. Yes, Dwarven Forge attempts cooking stream. There we go. Cool. All right, well, look out for that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. As always, Chris Mace, thanks for chilling with me.
For sure.
We'll see you guys next time.
Always.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.